As a former DACA recipient, I'm really looking forward to voting in the 2024 presidential election in November. It's a moment that I didn't think was going to get here, and it's finally here, and I'm going to use my vote to represent my community. My name's Angelica Cruz-Sierra. I am from Chicago, and I am a new American voter. So I arrived in Chicago in 1994, almost 30 years ago, and I've lived in the Pilsen neighborhood ever since. I always knew that I wasn't undocumented because I crossed the border when I was 6 years old, so I was always, present. But being, in a welcoming city like Chicago and growing up in the Chicago public school systems, it didn't really create trouble for me. There was a lot of kids who were in similar situations. It didn't create any barriers. It wasn't until I reached high school age that I started to realize that this was going to be a big impact in my life, especially when, I started to miss big moments like getting a driver's license, which I couldn't get, or like getting a summer job, which a bunch of my friends were getting. And then, I just couldn't. I didn't have that social security number that was required. Once I was in college, I started 2006. I graduated from high school then, did 4 years of college. Still nothing had happened with immigration. I was still undocumented. Graduated in 2010, and it wasn't until 2012 when the introduction of DACA happened that I was able to, have a little bit more hope. And to me, it was just unreal to know that all of our hard work organizing, that the youth would finally get what we've been fighting for, at least a little piece of it that would allow us to work, to get a work permit and carry on with our lives a little safer. So I did apply to DACA. I got DACA for 2 years, and right after that, I applied for a U visa. After 2 years, I became a U visa holder, which meant that after that, I could become a US resident. And then after that, I could finally become a US citizen. So finally, that path towards citizenship showed up, and it was clear in my mind, and it just opened up like a whole new world of opportunities for me. And I knew I wanted to, eventually become a US citizen because I wanted to have the right to vote. I wanted to advocate even more for our communities, and that vote is so powerful when it comes down to elections, to people, speaking up about what it is that our community deserves, especially from people that actually experienced it, like myself. The oath ceremony is something you see a lot on TV, and at least I picture, people waving their little flags and taking the oath. And yeah, that was really powerful being there that day. And I didn't realize, there was going to be several other people with me. I think there was about 90 of us during our oath ceremony. So I began to think about all these people have similar yet different paths, and all the different stories that brought us together that day is just enormous. And to me, that's what, being an American is. It's bringing your experience to this new country and blending it together and working for, a better country for each other too. So definitely really enjoyed waving my little flag, and it's something I'll always treasure, having that little flag as a reminder of that day. It's finally that sense of belonging. My message to DACA recipients who are now US citizens is to remember that there are still people in our situation, that still have DACA, that have no way to become citizens. So just keep that in mind and remember that we do have this right to vote, and our right to vote means that we can influence legislation that will help them. So we should definitely use our right to vote and help our communities. As a new American voter, I hope to bring that same energy into the polls, to use that right that we finally have as US citizens and cast our votes. My name's Angelica Cruz-Sierra. I am from Chicago, and I am a new American voter.